All right, today we're going to be putting a little comparison back-to-back ride. We got a 2019 KTM 450 XCF, same exact bike, 2019 KTM 350 XCF, pretty identical mods. Got the XP skid plate, disc guard, same on that bike, and gonna kind of just ride them back to back and see what the differences are. And then we got the old trusty Husky TX 300. Just got Megan's bike all decked out. We're gonna try out some protection parts, the Acerbis clutch cover that covers the water pump, pretty awesome. And then we also have the new Tusk Recon tire, man, that feels really nice and gummy. Pretty excited to see how it feels. From all the reviews, everybody's saying they're getting some good life out of it. So here's what the Acerbis ignition cover looks like as well. Just put a recluse on it, and yeah, pretty stoked to try it out. Woo! Gonna be XCF 350 versus 450, see what it's like. Warm up. Man, out here doing some fall riding today. Woo! Look at this today. Absolutely beautiful, man. Woo! 2019 KTM 450 XCF versus the 2019 350 XCF. My buddy Blair's got his bike back home, but got to do some great riding on both bikes, man. And I've had a couple 350s, so this is my first 450 XCF experience. And as you can see in my other review, I gotta say, man, I just love the 450 XCF. Really, really great bike. Through the tighter technical stuff today, through rocks and roots and stuff like that, that 350 was nice because I did notice that it had the lower gearing. It's got one extra gear than this 450 does, but man, this 450 just lugs through that stuff pretty well without flaming out. Especially if you were to put a recluse on this bike, I think it would really liven it up and cause it to not even want to die at all. But if I had to go with only one bike, which one would I pick? The XCF 450 or the XCF 350 2019 version? Man, I'd probably honestly still have to go with this 450. It just pulls harder here at elevation. Where we were riding was 7,500 to 8,500 feet, right in that elevation. And it's not that the 350 doesn't have enough power. It just, man, when you go back and forth between the two bikes, especially at elevation, you just really feel like this bike just wants to pull and pull up stuff easier, and it's less labored here at elevation. Maybe down at lower elevations, you know, 3,000, 2,000, sea level, that kind of stuff, that 350 would just shine because it would have tons of power. It's got that 6-speed tranny. But up here at elevation, and for the stuff that I'm going to be primarily riding it for, man, I just really like the 450 XCF. This motor's smooth. It doesn't pull your arms off. It's just kind of a forgiving bike compared to some of the older 450s that I've ridden that just have so much low end gobs of torque. But if you're going to do a little bit of motocross, a little bit of track riding, man, I would definitely lean towards a 450. It's just easier to come out of a corner, blip the throttle, and then that thing just takes off and pops over a jump. More than the 350. Just really have to keep that speed up and the corner speed up on the 350 to just be able to get over the same jump. So really, really like this bike. Also really like that 350. I've had a few of them. I've ridden now 2 of the 19 XCF 350s, and pitting them back to back, I really do like the 450 a little bit better than the 350. Still think that 350 is an awesome bike, but for me and my money, I would, out of the two, for higher elevation riding, here in Colorado and some places, maybe Utah, places like that, a little higher, the 450 is just a easier bike to ride, in my opinion. I'm not always trying to wring it out, wrap it out. This bike just pulls quite a bit harder. Can't even imagine what it would feel like down at sea level. I would probably prefer that 350 than at sea level. But hope that helps for guys who are looking for comparisons on the 350 XCF versus the 450 XCF. Both great bikes, both incredible bikes. Honestly, don't feel a whole lot different. When it comes to suspension, all that feels really honestly identical. But I will say that that 350 is feels a little bit lighter when you're riding it. It's just the size of that motor, obviously, the size of that piston, and just the centrifugal force of the rotating mass of that motor. You do notice it. This bike, it does feel a little bit heavier through the corners, through the tighter stuff. But yeah, both incredible bikes. Really liking this bike. Really like my buddy's XCF 350 as well. And if you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. But in this shootout, the 350 versus the 450, I got to give it to the 450. Anyhow, hope that helps if you're looking to compare the two bikes at higher elevations. Also, if you're going to be riding a lot of Colorado stuff like we have here, we have so much different type of terrain. We've got the high mountain, tight woods, rocks, roots, steep climbs, stuff like that. And then we've got the wide open, fast stuff on the western slope where you're just ripping 4th and 5th gear through sand washes and hill climbs and things like that. And if I could pick just one bike for that kind of riding to do it all, man, it would have to be the 450 here at elevation, just because it pulls better. It feels like it just wants to ride the faster stuff a little better. But if you're going to be able to do just one bike to do it all, man, that 350 is hard to beat as well. It's got that 6-speed tranny, and it's just an incredible bike. But what bike beats both these bikes out, in my opinion, is the 300 version of those bikes. Man, the 300 2-stroke. Oh, I love it, man. It's just an incredible bike. I can ride it everywhere. Do I like the 450 a little bit better for hill climbs, things like that? Man, I think I do. But if I could have just one bike to do it all, to ride fast, wide open stuff, technical, hard, single track with rocks and roots and steep climbs and ledges, man, it'd have to be that 300 XC. The bike honestly is a do-it-all bike. Incredible bike, super fun, but still my money over the 350 and over the 450 is that KTM 300 XC or the Husky TX 300. Incredible bikes, man. Hope that helps in your bike search. If you have any questions, please do let me know.